Morning, guys. This is Dr. Ron Madden. It'll probably be getting close to the last of the steampunk projects for the month of January. Today we're going to be looking at one of these little metal tins, and you see it's hollow in here and it's got a little window. And I thought it'd make a keen looking little pocket watch, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. Well, first you're going to need obviously one of these metal tins. They come for like $2 for $1 at Dollar Tree. You're going to need paint and a paint rag. So I've got my brushes here. Let me grab my paint rag. In this case, I've got a sock here that's got a big hole in the toe, so we're going to use that today for a paint rag. You're also going to need a clock face. In this case, I'm going to use this little button. At least all the clocks in this thing will be right, considering I'm using all these buttons. And you're going to need a bunch of these little cogs and gears. And some hot glue. A pair of scissors, possibly a knife. Alright. I'm going to get some of these gears out because, like I said, we're getting close to the end of the month of January, and we should have, I don't know if we're going to have any more projects for the month of January concerning this topic. But we'll see what we got. Now I know for the month of February we will be doing Valentine's stuff, so. And I still have a boo-koodle of these little clock face things. So we may end up going back to doing some steampunk sometime in the year. Now, let's look at what we're going to do. Alright, first things first, we're going to paint this. Or at least I'm going to try to paint this, mind you. For that, bring some light over here. I need the pearl white. Now I do have some pearl white. And there that is. Alright. You're also going to need a little bit of black and a pinpoint brush like I always use. Now, let's see if this stuff can hold the paint, shall we? And we'll be using this metallic pearl white. Now, I'm going to be using also the pinpoint brush, so I need to wet that down. Dry it off of my paint rag over here. Now, see if I can still do this. Been having some issues with my hand the last few days. So I'll see if I can pull this off. Yeah. What I'm going to try to do is mount this. It's going to be a rather small clock face, but it is what it is. And if you get a little bit of paint onto your letters, don't worry about it. You're going to come back in with the pinpoint brush, and we could probably just get away with covering the thing and then going over it. So we'll see if we can do that. I'll try to hold on to it, but it's like I said, my hands aren't real steady today. Having some issues with my hand. And hopefully it won't affect the future of the channel. Because, basically what it is I'm having a little bit of numbness along the reverse knife edge of my handwriting. And that was our regularly scheduled battery fail, brought to you by, Never Ready. Yeah, that's it. We'll go with that. What we're trying to make today, I think, is going to be like a little pocket watch type decoration. I ain't got a chain to put on it, but we'll see how long it takes to do this project. And maybe I'll get one Thursday if I can find it, or find one around the house. Maybe look through my odds and ends box and see what we got. So we're going to go with that. Just kind of want to dive it in because I don't want it looking like a bunch of brush strokes if I can avoid it. Could have probably just dipped it, but what are you going to do? There we go. I'll probably have to do a couple of coats on that one anyway. Now, we'll let that dry, and I gotta cut the little button holes off the back of it. Now, this side. And we're gonna put all this in before we put the face onto it, because I gotta do some stuff. Alright. What we're gonna do is we're gonna glue in some cogs and gears. The inner workings of this watch, which by the way won't actually tell time, but it will be cool to look at and be a nice little centerpiece for the thing, for the details and stuff, and you might even be able to hang it on your refrigerator, which would be kind of neat. Alright. We're not going to worry too much about stringers. This is going to be on down in this device. So I'm going to glue one there. Use that same bit of glue right there to hang this one. I want it to where it fills up the whole screen. See, right now it does not. So we're going to at least have it set up where it will fill it up. We may end up using our button inside the glass. So I'm trying to keep this where you can see what I'm doing. I don't think I can put another one in there. Alright. See what we're going to do. That's hot. That's why they call it hot glue. Ouch. Now, I'm going to go glue a I'm going to have to put a little bit more glue. So I do want it where they kind of layer in these gears. Okay. I don't want it being, well, that'll work. It's kind of a cool look, kind of. Let's see how it looks with our window on it now. Nope, needs a little bit more. Let's take one of these. Let's take this last big old gear. We're going to mount him right here. Now, let's see if this will fit. It will, and we'll put it up on this corner right there. There we go. Now let's see how this looks in the thing. That kind of looks like a very complicated watch mechanism. Lay one more gear, and I'm going to put it right in here. I got a couple of these that are somehow stuck together. Still not sure how that happened. Alright. Trying to fit this one in. What I want to do is kind of have it set in between them, but it's going to be a little bit wonky, so I can't really do that. Well, it's stuck in there. We're going to have to put one over the top of it. Then it won't be quite as noticeable. Let's see how it looks in the mirror, in the window. That's actually pretty cool looking. Now, while we've got this up here, I'm going to go ahead and glue our little stopper on it right here. The little winder unit. Now we're going to use another gear up here for this. In this case, a small cog. Because see, it's already got the screw head up there, so it actually looks like a kind of an oversized watch fob now. So, kind of even that up. Now, we're gonna let our clock face dry while we paint the rest of this. Now we're not gonna paint the back of it because there's a magnet back there. But I am gonna kill the glue gun for a few minutes while I'm working on this. So I'm not so sure how well this metal is gonna hold. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over it with a basic coat of black. But I gotta figure out how to cover up, or at least I'm gonna use the pinpoint brush to avoid getting any on the clock face, on the white or on the clear. So we're gonna have to be very, very cautious. Paint this in 2 sections. So get strings off of me because those are annoying. We may end up having to do a couple of coats because, like I said, acrylic paints do not hang well on metal, and I don't have anything that'll stick to metal very well. I guess I could have sanded it a little bit, which would have given a little more purchase to the glue, but then it would have scratched up the surface that I'm not wanting to be overly scratched up. I got a stringer right there, and that needs to go bye-bye. There we go. Because what we're going to do is I'm going over it with the black, because I'm eventually going to go over it with the it's going to have to take a couple of coats, I suspect. This one here is just going to be to kind of keep the paint from slippy sliding. So we're going to paint right up around the clock face, and I'm trying to keep paint off of this clear part in as much as possible. I mean, I can wet it down with a wet cloth if I'm real cautious when we're done, but that's going to be the most painstaking part of this project, is trying to keep paint in place off of places where it should not be. See how it bleeds through? The silver does, the metallic. It's because this paint doesn't want to hold onto this particular surface. Now, I got away with it when I painted the exterior. Now, I don't know why I'm going with that little brush. I can actually go with a much bigger brush here on the bottom part of this thing. So I'll go ahead and put up our pinpoint for right now. We will come back to it. Man, my hand is driving me nuts. Alright. Now, we got our fat brushes here. It has gotten loose and didn't get into the water and dried up. I hope it didn't ruin my brush. Oh, that one there's pretty stiff. I'll have to wet it down again. Now, let's see. I'll have to probably buy a new fat brush because this one's kaput. So I'll probably have to be painted in sections, because this glue, I think my brush is in kaputnik. Let's see here, I've got another container of brushes. Let's see if I've got another one like that. Need a short, fat, wide brush. Ah, there we are. That might do the job. And it's not overly stiff. So, let me clean off my brush now. I had to get it wet now, because we're not dry brushing. Alright, now. Now, if you had the time and the patience, you might have gotten away with maybe spray painting this. I had not thought about it, but I don't know if that would have been such a great idea. I mean, it would probably have held better than this acrylic glue, this acrylic paint is on this thing. But we'll see. You wouldn't have near as much control over spray painting as you would just straight up painting. I don't know if I'm going to have time for another steampunk project for the month, but if I get anything, I will let you all know. You know us, we kind of fly by the seat of our pants around here, especially with the way things have been lately. I got paint all over me. Now, let's see if I can go up around this edge. Like I said, I might have to let some of this dry and then come back and do it again. Because I want to make sure I've got, it may take more than one coat of paint to do this job. Now, close this up for a few minutes. See if this is dry. We can actually go over this with a second coat with the clock face now. So let's break out the pearl, the watch frame over here. I've only got 3 cogs left. I could have legitimately glued them in and been done with it for the month, but I'll probably buy some more cogs Thursday if I can, because, well, you don't know when you're going to run into them again, and they're dead useful, especially in stuff like this. I've got some great ideas for the month of February. Some of them simple, some of them probably very simple, but I think they'll still look very nice when you put them together. So, actually, we went to a Dollar Tree and we picked up a bunch of stuff for Valentine's for this. I love Dollar Tree. Okay, actually this is holding better than I thought, and that's actually looking quite good. When I paint on the black, it should look really great. So, we're going to let these paints dry, and we'll be back with you shortly. Well guys, we're back. I've let this paint dry and let the kids get to bed. We're going to put the second coat on here and see what else we can get done. Alright. As you can see, got a good thick coat on it, and it doesn't have to be perfect. That one's going to have to probably be a little bit more done, but we'll check it and see. Alright. The next coat of paint's going to come on is going to be antique copper, just because the fact that copper is such a steampunky sort of color. So I'm going to go ahead and put my pinpoint brush back up here and grab the new broad brush, because even though my little short fat brush might be ready to use again. Alright, now we're just going to kind of, I should have really just maybe kind of dry brushed it, but we'll make this work. I could have, if you really wanted to get all fancy schmancy about it, you could have put like some maybe glued some fake rivets or something in place, or some sort of decor on it. Who knows? I mean, at the end of the day, it is your project. And if you're the one doing it, you can do whatever you'd like. Now, so I'm going to have to hold it gently, like that. And I got just a little more paint on it than I meant to. But yeah. Now, what does this serve exactly? Well, you could put it on a wall mount. You could just set it on your, as kind of a little keepsake, make a little rack for it, and I may do that. Kind of like make a little platform for it. It's just kind of a little miniature thing. Still got a magnet on the back, so you could, in theory, put it back on your refrigerator. Really. Now, let's see if we can do that with this. I'm thinking maybe this black paint was maybe just unnecessary. So, I mean, this looks actually quite good. And what places the chrome does shine through on it, the metal shines through, does not actually hurt it one bit. I have to get a little bit more paint. Now let's see here. just a little bit more. I'm trying to get it in there. There we go. And I'm hoping I'll be able to get back and be able to afford to pick up some more of those gears, because I need them for the month of March. And hopefully they'll still have them, but the way Walmart tends to do, stuff disappears after a season. And it's one of those things that you really just kind of really need a lot of, and I don't really want to have to order them through Amazon or eBay. And you'd probably be able to order them through Hobby Lobby if you had to. Now, I'll go ahead and plug in my glue gun. Kind of give you an overview as to how we're doing this. Now, this is going to be a weird looking little little watch anyway, so let's look at it for a minute. Alright. We'll kind of leave that, but we're going to go ahead and grab the yeah, the reason I want some of these wheels is I've kind of got something in mind for the month of March. I'm not going to spoil the surprise. It's just something I want to do in March. Let's see what we can do here. So I've got to be very careful. See, it's not going to be easy because my hands are just not as steady as they once were. See what I mean? So we're going to have to wipe it a little bit, I suspect. I wiped off my paint now. And I forgot to close up my copper. That tells you where my head's at today. Now, let's kind of just gently. Now, I could probably just get a little less paint on here. I don't want that much paint. Now that looks better. Let's see if we can keep doing that. As you can see, my hands are just not super steady these days. I used to be able to get really good fine details on stuff, and I still can sometimes, but last few days I'm having some issues, like I said, with my hand. And I really hope that this is not the new normal, because that would not be good. Because I need to be able to create. So if y'all are praying, be praying for old Dr. Von Mad here. Because I'm not so sure what my future holds here. I'm trying to get this on here, but it's, like I said, my hands are not particularly steady. And I can sometimes hit it and sometimes not. I'm trying to hit it and it's not. So I'm a little worried about this. I don't mean to bore y'all with that, but it is something that could be a factor in the future. And it may be something I have to prepare for. Alright, now turn the clock face again. I'm just trying my best not to get too much paint. At least one thing's for sure. I'm gonna fight this every step of the way, because that's what I do. we go. It's not perfect, but it's gonna have to do because I'm just not, like I said, I'm not as swooped with this as I once was. So, oh, I forgot. Still, I'm gonna have to retouch that up. So my copper paint is still wet. So let's go over here and knock off this thumbprint that I just so stupidly put on there. Alright. Let's see, where's the top of this at? Right here it is. Alright. Let's see if we can put maybe, we got an idea. Maybe put one more planetary gear right here. Let's see if that works. Oh, come here, wiggly. And that's not going to work. It's going to bounce all over tarnation. Now, kind of want it set dead center. That was a strange sound. Let's see. Is there any way to fit in here on this side? That would look good, but I'm not so sure I can get it to stay in there like that. So we gotta figure out how to get this wiggly thing. See, that's what I mean. My coordination's rubbish right now. My coordination is just not particularly great at this moment. Now that actually sits in the place, and that will look kind of neat right there on top of it. So yes, I know the clock face is much smaller than the display, but honestly, like I said, being steampunk, it's going to look a little odd in it. It's going to be a little off anyway. And I want it set like so. Now let's see how this looks together. I think let's get it over here in the light. See, now you can just barely see the gears through the thing. Now I got a little bit of glue, I got a little bit of paint I got to clean off of the window. I got a little bit of paint right up here, and that's no good. That's not going to work, so we're going to have to scrape some paint off of it. There we go. Now, that looks kind of neat. Let's see if I can get it over here in the light where you can see it. See? So, that looks pretty decent. So there you are. Just a few gears, some hot glue, little paint, craft bead, one of those little watch face, clock face buttons, and there you are. Your own sort of non-functioning steampunk clock. Now, like I said, you could glue this thing shut, or you can leave it open to put it on display like that. I kind of like it closed. And, you know, you can set it on display. If you glued it shut and put a fob on it, and I'm not sure how I would put a chain on it, you could carry it around as kind of like a steampunk sort of watch. Put it on display or whatever. So, there you are. And this is Dr. Von Mad, looking for a spot to set my watch. And we'll move some of my pictures around here and set my clock right there. So let's see how this looks. That actually kind of does look like an actual watch. I like that. We got some of my steampunk guns. I actually did one of these for a video. This one right there. A while back. So there we are. The month of steampunk. Now I've got this one over here because I really can't get over in this corner. But there's our wall hanging of the bath escape. Also got my steampunk copy of Frankenstein, which I got at, oh, where was that? Earthbound in Jackson, Tennessee, at the Old Hickory Mall. And there's Volchie. And there's my old cap and ball pistol. And there's our vase, some leeches in a jar. Long story how that happened. The clockwork owl, my sea monster tooth, the weird mad scientist lights, and the light fixtures. And there you are. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to get notified, and I will see you cats, one and all. On the flip side, thanks for watching, bye-bye, and God bless. Don't forget to follow us on Patreon, Pinterest, and Facebook. Good night.